Hello my dear students, our lesson today is operation on the real number. The first operation is addition. We know that 2x and 3x are two like terms. Then 2x plus 3x equals 5x. We did use that. 2 root 5 plus 3 root 5. 2 root 5 plus 3 root 5 equals 5 root 5. Example number 1. Find the result of negative root 5 plus 4 root 5 plus negative 2 root 5. We add negative 1 plus 4 plus negative 2 at first. Negative 1 plus 4 equals 3. 3 plus negative 2 equals 1 root 5. Properties of addition operation in R. The first property is closure property. What's the meaning of closure property? Closure property means the sum of any two real number must be real number. Example, root 5 belong to R and 2 root 5 also belong to R. Root 5 plus 2 root 5 equals 3 root 5. 3 root 5 also belong to R. Therefore, we say R is closed under addition operation. The second property is commutative property. Commutative property means if A belongs to R and B belongs to R, then A plus B equals B plus A. Because root 5 plus 2 root 5 equals 3 root 5. And 2 root 5 plus root 5 equals 3 root 5. Then root 5 plus 2 root 5 equals 2 root 5 plus root 5. Then the real number is commutative. Property number 3 is associative property. Associative property means if A belongs to R, B belongs to R and C belongs to R. If we start by adding A plus B at first is the same if we start by adding B plus C at first. This is associative property. For example, root 5 plus 2 root 5 plus 3 root 5. If we start by adding 2 root 5 plus 3 root 5 at first, root 5 plus bracket 2 root 5 plus 3 root 5, 2 root 5 plus 3 root 5 equals 5 root 5. Root 5 plus 5 root 5 equals 6 root 5. If we start by adding root 5 plus 2 root 5, then root 5 plus 2 root 5 equals 3 root 5 plus 3 root 5 equals 6 root 5 also. Then if we start by adding the first two numbers is the same if we start by adding the last two numbers. This is associative property. Subtraction operation is not commutative and it is not associative. Property number 4 is additive neutral element. 0 is the additive neutral element in R. If A belongs to R and A plus 0 equals 0 plus A equals A. For example, root 5 plus 0 equals 0 plus root 5 equal root 5. Property number 5 is additive inverse. If A belongs to R, there exists negative A belongs to R, where A plus negative A equals negative A plus A equals 0. The additive inverse of 2 plus root 5 is negative 2 minus root 5. Again, the additive inverse of 2 plus root 5 is negative 2 minus root 5. The additive inverse, another example, the additive inverse of 3 minus root 3 is negative 3 plus root 3. Change the sign of the two numbers. 3 minus root 3, the additive inverse of this number is negative 3 plus root 3. Sorry, this is root 3. Example number 1. Simplify to the simplest form. 4 plus root 3 minus 7 minus root 3. To put this number in simplest form, adding the like terms. Where is the like terms is 4 and negative 7. And also root 3 and negative root 3 is like term. Then put 4 and negative 7 in the same bracket and root 3 minus root 3 in the same bracket. 4 minus 7 equals negative 3 and root 3 minus root 3 equals 0. Negative 3 plus 0 equals negative 3. Example number 2. Write the additive inverse for every of the following numbers. The additive inverse of root 2 is negative root 2. And the additive inverse of negative cube root 5 is cube root 5. And the additive inverse of root 2 plus root 7, it changes the sign of the two number is negative root 2 minus root 7. And the additive inverse of cube root 5 minus 3 is, it changes the sign of the two number is negative cube root 5 plus 3. Example number 3. Put in the simplest form. Number 1, 2 plus 2 root 7 minus 1 minus 5 root 7. Put the like terms in the same bracket. Which numbers are like terms? 2 and negative 1. Also 2 root 7 and negative 5 root 7 is like terms. Then put 2 plus negative 1 in the same bracket and 2 root 7 plus negative 5 root 7 in the same bracket. 2 plus negative 1 equals 1 minus 2 root 7 plus negative 5 root 3 equals negative 3 root 7. And 1 minus 3 root 7 is simplest form. Number 2, 3 root 5 plus root 3 minus 3 root 5 plus 5 root 3. Put the like terms in the same bracket. 3 root 5 plus negative 3 root 5 plus root 3 plus 5 root 3. 3 root 5 plus negative 3 root 5 equals 0, and root 3 plus 5 root 3 equals 6 root 3. 0 plus 6 root 3 equals 6 root 3. The second operation is multiplication. We know that 3 times 2x equals 3 times 2 times x. 3 times 2 equals 6x. We did use that 3 times 2 root 3 equals 3 times 2. 3 times 2 equals 6 root 3. Find the result of 2 times 4 root 5 equals 2 times 4 equals 8 root 5. 4 root 5 times root 4 equals 4 times 1 is 4, and root 5 times root 5 equals 5. 4 times 5 equals 20. Negative 3 root 2 times 2 root 2 equals negative 3 times 2 and root 2 times root 2. Negative 3 times 2 equals negative 6, and root 2 times root 2 or root 2 power 2 equals 2. Negative 6 times 2 equals negative 12. Properties of multiplication operation in R. The first property is closure property. What is the meaning of closure property? If we multiply any two real number, the result will be real number. For example, root 5 times 2 root 5 equals 2 times 5 equals 10. And 10 is real number. Root 5 is real number and 2 root 5 is real number. And the multiplication of these two real number, the result 10 is real number. This is closure property. Property number 2, commutative property. What's the meaning of commutative property? If A and B belong to or A times B equals B times A. For example, root 5 times 2 root 5 equals 2 root 5 times root 5. Because root 5 times 2 root 5 equals 10. And also 2 root 5 times 5 equals 10. Property number 3 is associative property. Associative property means if A belongs to R, B belongs to R, and C belongs to R. If we multiply these three numbers together, if we start by multiplying the first two numbers, A times B at first, is the same if we start by multiplying B times C at first. For example, if we have three real numbers, root 5 times 2 root 5 times 3 root 5. The three numbers are real numbers. If we start by multiplying 2 root 5 times 3 root 5 at first, now root 5 times bracket 2 root 5 times 3 root 5. 2 root 5 times 3 root 5 equals 30. Root 5 times 30 equals 30 root 5. The same example if we're starting by multiply the first two numbers at first. Root 5 times 2 root 5 together at first. Root 5 times 2 root 5 equals 10. 10 times 3 root 5 equals 30 root 5. The same answer. Division operation is not commutative and it is not associative. Property number 4, multiplicative neutral. What is the multiplicative neutral element in R? The multiplicative neutral element in R is 1. If A belongs to R, then A times 1 equals 1 times A equals A. The multiplicative neutral element in R is 1. For example, root 5 times 1 equals 1 times root 5 equals root 5. Property number 5, multiplicative inverse. If A belongs to R, there exists 1 over A also belongs to R. And A times 1 over A equals 1. A times 1 over A equals 1. For example, the multiplicative inverse of root 5 is 1 over root 5. And the multiplicative inverse of 2 over root 5 is root 5 over 2. Property number 6 is distributing multiplication on addition and subtraction. For any three real numbers A, B, and C, it will be A times B plus or minus C equals, distribute A on this bracket, then A times B plus or minus A times C. Or B plus or minus C times A, then distribute A on the bracket from right. B times A plus or minus C times A. Remark, there is no multiplicative inverse for 0 because 1 over 0 is meaningless. Example, find the result of root 5 over 5 times 4 root 5 over 12 root 2 divide 1 over 3 root 2. Put the first two numbers in bracket and make this operation at first. Root 5 over 5 times 4 root 5 over 12 root 2 equals 5 over 15 root 2. Divide 1 over 3 root 2. Drop 5 over 15 root 2 the same and change divided 2 times and find the multiplicative inverse for this number. Then 5 over 15 root 2 times 3 root 2 over 1. 5 over 15 root 2 times 3 root 2 equals 1. Example number 2. Write 9 over root 3 such that the denominator is an integer. 9 over root 3, to make the denominator integer number, multiply up and down by root 3. Then 9 over root 3 times root 3 over root 3 equals 9 times root 3 over root 3 times root 3 equals 3. 9 root 3 over 3 equals 3 root 3. Example number 1, 2 root 3 times 5 root 3 minus 4. Use the distributive property by distribute this number on the bracket. 2 root 3 times 5 root 3 minus 2 root 3 times 4. 2 root 3 times 5 root 3 equals 10 times 3 minus 2 root 3 times 4 equals 8 root 3. 10 times 3 equals 30 minus 8 root 3. This in the simplest form. Remark, a plus b times bracket a minus b equals square the first minus square the second equals a power 2 minus b power 2. Example number 2, 7 root 2 minus 5 times bracket 7 root 2 plus 5. The two brackets are the same and different in sign. According to this remark, the result equals 7 root 2 power 2 minus 5 power 2. 7 root 2 power 2 equals 98 minus 5 power 2 equals 25. 98 minus 25 equals 73. Example, fx equals 5 root 3 minus 2 and y equals 5 root 3 plus 2. Find the value of the expression x power 2 plus 2xy plus y power 2. Remark, x plus or minus y all power 2 equals x power 2 plus or minus 2xy plus y power 2. According to this remark, x power 2 plus 2xy plus y power 2 equals x plus y all power 2. By substituting about x and y, then x equals 5 root 3 minus 2 and y equals 5 root 3 plus 2 all power 2. Negative 2 plus 2 equals 0 and 5 root 3 plus 5 root 3 equals 10 root 3 power 2. 10 root 3 all power 2 equals 100 times 3. 100 times 3 equals 300. Thank you. Goodbye.